Hey guys, Jonah here, back with a beer review, and this one is a bit weird. It's another one from the Taiwan Beer 52 box, but it's from Denmark. I know, how weird is that, right? It is this one, Mikkeller, and it's TAIPA, West Coast Pale Ale, dry hop with Mosaic and Eldorado. Very, very odd. It is 4.8% on the ABV. Brewed and canned for Mikkeller in the EU, and obviously distributed. We have got barley, hops, yeast, etc. Nothing amazing. The hops on here, there's the old Mikkeller weird two people chatting together, which is their logo. Yeah, so we've got Cascade, we've got Centennial, we've got Magnum, we've got Chinook, we've got Eldorado, and we've got more Mosaic. It's I'm not sure why. Apart from the name, I'm not sure why this is included in this box. Very strange. Whoa, look at that. We've got to get this one in the thing. Why are my beers like exploding of late? This is very, very odd. Anyway, I hopefully, no, I didn't drop any on the trousers. And this has been in the fridge for a couple of days. What is going on? Wow, I managed to not spill a drop. Right, well, that is getting one of my specials. I'm going to stare at that because that's crazy. Why is that so carbonated? Not quite 2 fingers head, but not far off. And it's a reasonably clear beer. I would not call this properly a West Coast IPA because it's not very clear. It's not an IPA at all, is it? It's a pale ale. Sorry, West Coast Pale. I wouldn't call it that either. Now, because we've got so much hops in there, oh, lovely and fruity. I was going to say it's going to be difficult to pick them apart, but we've got tropical, we've got sort of mangoey, passion fruity, yeah, lovely stuff. Maybe a bit of, I don't know, maybe a bit of grapefruity. It tastes, sorry, it smells as though it's going to taste quite sweet, but we shall see. 4.8, so almost 5. So let's have a crack. I'm loving the look at that head though. Look, big fluffy head. It has disappeared somewhat. We're down to a finger. That's not a mean feat. It's reasonably, I mean, it's reasonably dark. Yeah. See what we get. Cheers and beers. If you're new to the channel, think about subscribing, all that kind of jazz. Give me a thumbs up while you're there. And why not give me a comment down below as well. Cheers and beers. Oh. Okay, that's interesting. So flavour-wise, it tastes quite fruity, it tastes quite sweet, but there is quite a bitterness to it, and it doesn't actually finish that sweet. So I think the sweetness is just through the kind of fruit, the illusion of sweetness, whereas in fact this is a reasonably bitter beer. And it's a West Coast style, so it deserves to be pretty bitter. And it's got shed loads of hops in too. So the IBUs, I imagine, are reasonably high on here. But yeah, still quite nice and fruity. There's a bit of berry taste in there too. a bit of kind of juicy fruit, although not in the citrus way. So we're not talking about the Simcoe effect. We're tasting like fruits bursting on your palate. Really, really cool. But that bitterness does come through, and it comes through reasonably harshly, but secondary to the fruit. So fruit first, bitter second. It finishes reasonably bitter too. But yeah, this is quite a nice beer. And for a beer that doesn't have things like wheat and oats, because it's a West Coast style, not an East Coast or a NEPA style, or a NEPA in this case, because of course we're talking pale ale. Yeah, nice. Oh, so fruity. Then that bitterness. It's almost like zestiness too. So there's a bit of kind of pithiness there too, maybe like a grapefruity kind of thing. Um, but it is quite sharp. It kind of cuts through what would have been that sweetness. Yeah, maybe there's a little bit of peach there too. Obviously, we've got Cascade in here. It doesn't say where it's from necessarily. But yeah, I always get that kind of peachiness there. That stone fruity, but in a peach way. Um, the head is not really sticking around. I mean, we have got a bit of a line there. There's nothing too much on the back. Um, there's no massive amount of head retention, shall we say. But yeah, interesting beer. I have to say, it's not quite clean enough for me to be a true West Coast style. And it is a tiny bit hazy. You can't. I mean, it's reasonably clear, but you can't call it a super clear, crisp, crystal clear, shall we say, beer, a bright beer. If we're talking in Old English, which some of you don't understand, but yeah, it is like that. Yeah, a little bit too much going on for me as well, but there's a lot of nice flavours in there. We are. I'm beginning to get that kind of bubblegummy thing from the Centennial too, which is that old school. I think it used to be a cherry bubblegum kind of thing, but that's kind of what I pick up. Absolutely lovely. But yeah, just not clean enough. Not clean enough, crisp enough. Not enough time to settle out to a full degree. Um, which is a shame because Mikkeller are a really good Danish brewery, but I don't know. I'm yet to work out, apart from the name, which is Taipei, and it's Taipei. Does Taipei have a Y on the end? I thought maybe it did. TAIPA, dry hopped West Coast pale. So yeah, not sure what's going on with that. Bit weird, if you ask me. Never mind. Nice beer to start the week. At the weekend, I went to Margate and I went to Xylo, which is a little bit pricey, I have to say. And I always like to have a bit of a bargain, but some of the beers they have are really, really good. Ooh. But their pricing is very strange. Um, so they'll put their pricing in 2/3 of a pint. Um, and I usually have halves. I don't usually do 2/3. Um, which was say £7 for 2/3. So then you multiply it through, and it's almost £10 a pint for some of the beers. Some of them are a lot more reasonable. Don't get me wrong. But yeah, when you buy two halves and it's like 8 or 9 quid, you're like, what? That's ridiculous. But things like Vault City, their own beers especially, they're a little bit cheaper because they're their own. What else did they have? Cloudwater they have quite often. So they have some really, really cool beers, and then they drop their own beers, which are pretty damn good as well. And if you sit in the bar downstairs where you go in, you can see their brew kit there. Not sure 100% if they actually brew in the pub. I think they probably do. I've never seen them brewing when I've been there, but I've always seen piles of grains and hops and stuff just lying around. But yeah, who knows? Maybe they brew at night time or something, or at the weekends when it's quieter. I don't know. Anyhow, let me finish this off. You guys can go on your way. Enjoy the rest of your week, and yeah, there's plenty more beers to be had. We live in interesting times. Not at all bad from Mikkeller, although I have had better West Coast pales in my time, but that one was pretty good. What's it got to do apart from the name with Taiwan? I'm still none the wiser. Take care of yourselves. Take care of each other. And Uncle Jonah will return with another beer review. And you know what is coming up real soon.